It is 19 Celsius here at the cabin, 68 Fahrenheit-ish. It's a beautiful day. The bugs aren't too bad. It's Wednesday. Got a couple of projects I got to get going on here. One is for the garden. Had a couple of good suggestions from last week's video as to how to water the garden. Now that little swampy area is drying up over there. And I was worried about bringing water up from the pond because there's a fairly high elevation change. 6 or 7 meters or so, and it's a long distance. But a couple of people suggested I put a barrel halfway up the hill, fill that up, and then I can water the garden from that. And I thought that's an excellent idea. And I have some more barrels here, so I'm going to cut the lid off of one. Cut the lid? That's not really a lid. Cut the top off of one and make it into a lid. And then we're going to try that. We're going to try just pumping water up the hill here. Another thing I want to do is I bought some worms for fishing. Every now and then I see ripples of water in the pond. Could only be made by a fish. They're going fast. They're fairly big ripples. They must be made by a fish bigger than anything I've caught. Who am I kidding? I've only caught one fish and it was about this big. Anyway, I've got some worms, and there are no worms around here. So for all the people who've suggested how to find worms, there aren't any. John James talked about this in one of his videos, how there are no earthworms in some areas. They're not native to Ontario. I thought, oh, okay, I did not know that. Yeah, so I want to put a line out. What I've got here is, hold on a second. I've got a rod set up with a bobber about 1.5 feet above the hook. My thing is, generally you want your thing down near the bottom because that's where the fish hang out. But when I see the ripples, obviously the fish are near the top. But they only come out, I don't know, now and then. Like I'll be looking from the cabin here and I'll see ripples and I'll think, why now? I don't know. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a worm on here, cast it out, and just leave it. Leave it for several hours and see what happens. Keep an eye on the bobber. Oh, my bobber's come off the one side. I'll have to fix that. So I'm probably going to do this first. And we'll see if we catch anything. I don't know. The other thing I got to do today, it's going to be a busy day. Tomorrow it's supposed to rain. I just checked the weather report again. We're expecting 10 millimeters of rain tomorrow, 5 millimeters of rain overnight. Was not expecting a bug in my hair. So hopefully, I've got the diverter on the rain barrels, so overnight if it rains it'll wash all the dirt off my roof, hopefully. And then in the morning I'll take the diverter off and we'll fill up the barrels. But today I want to clean out the barrels. We'll empty them and clean them out. And hopefully it still rains tomorrow. I've done this before where there's rain in the forecast for the next day. I clean up my barrels, next day comes, no rain. And I'm like, damn it, man. Damn it. Yeah, there's lots of water here. Lots of water, but it's beaver water. It's got beaver bacteria in it. And while I could put it through my filtering system, I just don't want to. I don't want to contaminate any part of it. I don't want to keep it for rainwater right now. Anyway, let's get going. You talk too much, Russell. You talk way too much. I need to finish putting screws in that thing. Still haven't done that yet. Alright. Is that a turtle? I can't see this little screen at all, but can you see that turtle on that log? Did you want to see me put the worm on the hook? I didn't think you'd want to see that. Oh, crap. That's not where I wanted it. Come on. Oh, that's a good spot. forget to bring my string down to attach the rod to the post here. I'll go do that. You just chilling? Your nose is dirty. Well, you don't have to get up. You good girl? You good doggy? You're dirty. You dirty dog. Well, here's my barrel. I cut the top off and rinsed most of the molasses out of it. So now I guess I gotta figure out how far my hose and my pump are gonna come uphill. And we'll try it as far as it'll go. The trick is with the hose, the garden hose, it's been curled up for a while and it's really hard to get straight, so I might have to grab some rocks and straighten it out. And right now, the undergrowth out here. Hey, remember about a month and a half ago, I took a little wander through the bush over here with my GoPro and I said, I'll come back here in about a month and show you how much the undergrowth has come up. Let's do that right now. I think that'd be funny. There's like one deer fly buzzing around, but deer flies don't. They buzz around, they buzz around, they buzz around, and half the time they just take off. They're really not a problem. There's not many mosquitoes out today, so that's good. Anyway, I'm gonna see what I can do with this hose now. Oh yeah, sorry. we're gonna do the GoPro thing. I'm gonna show you that, and then we're gonna see what we can do with the hose. I think we were hereabouts, looking at the pond. There's still some water in there. Sorry, the swamp. And then we went this way. Let's start out with a flashback, Russell. This is what I'm talking about when I say there's no underbrush. I'll tell you what, in a month's time, I will walk through this area again and we'll see the big difference. Okay, something like this. It was something like that. It's actually not too bad through here. I think it's because there's a lot of shading from these trees. There's some places where, you know, it's hip deep. You can't see your feet at all. But this is okay. Quick check for ticks. There shouldn't be any around here because there's no deer around here, but they look good. Check out these potato plants. They're doing really, really well, aren't they? Well, here's what I got to hold it in the water and keep it off the bottom. Or it's really difficult when it's curled curled hose. It just keeps one curling back and stuff. So this will hold in the water. I just got to secure this end down. Yeah, that'll work well. I don't know though. I don't. With the hose I've got, I don't even think I can get halfway up there. It's just too far. I think these are 25-foot hoses, maybe? I have to check. Let's see how far we can go. And I don't know. It'll be hard to see on camera, but oh, well, let's see if we can start filling up a barrel. I got this thing that I use for the pine tongue and groove on the ceiling to hold it in place, right? I'm thinking, oh, something like that. Come on, Russell, just a bit further. There. Pulling the barrel. All right, we're gonna turn this on. I've been told that putting the pump at the water end is better. I guess the pump pushes water better than it pulls water or something? I don't know. I don't have any other hose though. Like, I can't put the pump in the water, right? Alright, I'm going to turn it on, but I'm going to move the camera up there so you can see the water coming out maybe? Well, it'll take a minute anyway. Not quite halfway. Not the cleanest looking water, but we knew that. While I was waiting, I reset the hook in the pond. No fish, obviously. No more zip ties. I'm letting it get right to the top because if this is going to work, then I might as well make the most of it, right? Get as much in here as possible. It's been about half an hour. I'm guessing I should have timed it, but I think about half an hour. So it'll be interesting to see, like, if I run it into the garden for. I'll time this. I'll time it for like half an hour, let's say, and we'll see how much this goes down. And we're pretty much there, aren't we? Yeah. So this should work well. You wanna, well, I want to. Wish I hadn't tied that on there so tight. I want the hose to be like a couple of inches off the bottom. I don't have any more zip ties. I shouldn't have used zip ties on this. But a couple of inches off the bottom so I don't pick up any bottom crap. There, that's what I'm talking about. then, let's see here. I'm gonna have to cut that one. New knife. Like it? Says Russell on it. Yeah. That means the person I'm most likely to stab with it is Russell. Oh, why did I let that zip tie fall? Okay, so we should be a couple of inches off the bottom. Oh, it's floating. It's a floating stick for some reason. Oh, it's magic, or I don't know what. Okay. And this, let's go this way. I was worried that I wasn't even going to be close with this. Ah, Russell. I'm way close. I got another zip tie to cut. Damn it. I'll find that one. Room to spare, jeez. This is good. I like this. If I wanted to make a more permanent solution, I get another couple of hoses and another pump. Incidentally, anybody have a good idea on how to, I don't want to be taking the pump in every night. I don't want it to get rained on. I have a bucket that I've just been placing over it, but is there a better solution, do you think? Protecting the pump out here? All right. The hose has been really cooperating. Like it hasn't been trying to wind up on me. Okay, I'm gonna turn it on. What happened? See? There we go. Whoa! Ah, you get my camera wet. Is it wet? You got wet. Here, let me clean that for you. Do you like that? Is that nice? There you go. I think we're actually getting more pressure here. I don't know why. I guess the barrel is slightly higher elevation than the pond, the swamp. That's weird. Isn't that weird? Oh, I'm not timing this. Okay, stop. Okay, that's how much the water went down in that short time frame. And I'll know from editing this video how long it'll take. I'll put it up on screen right now. That's how much the water went down in that amount of time. So, we're gonna do the stopwatch thing here. Turn it on. And I have a feeling we're gonna go through water a lot faster than I thought. Alright. So I just turned it off after the 10-minute mark. And if I was doing this like in the late evening, that would probably be enough water. 10 minutes, well, 10 minutes plus whatever it was before I timed it. And the water level is going down just about as fast as I pumped it in. It's pumping out as fast as I pumped it in. So I'm gonna need another solution here. So the next solution is to either buy another pump and 2 more hoses, so I have a 2-stage, or another person thought that, or a couple of people thought that this pump would do to pump the water the whole way. I just need more hose. And the pump needs to be closer to the pond. So if I bought another 25-foot hose and then a 10-foot hose, 10-foot hose goes into the water, then pump, and then 3 25-footers into the water. What do you think? Well, let me know, because we'll have to do something. Yep. Well, I just checked the weather report again. They're still calling for 5 millimeters overnight and 10 tomorrow. So the plan's still good. Here's one nice thing that's happened. I don't know who will remember, but I cut this barrel last year. And you see the big hole there? I was very annoyed that that had happened. I wasn't sure why it happened. I figured I just cut up too high on the barrel, high up on the barrel, and but I didn't like that because it just means bugs and crap can get through those holes and into my water. It didn't happen on this one, but I got looking at the barrels, the barrel tops. They're very slightly different. I don't know if you can see that. They're very slightly different. So I went looking at the other barrels that I had, and I discovered, yeah, there's 2 types of barrels. But the nice thing that's happened is now I have a new lid with no holes in it this time. There's just some molasses on it. So I'm going to clean this one up and replace this holy one with it. And I'll take the holy one down and put it on that other barrel over there. So I won't keep everything out, but I don't care down there. This is my good water. Yeah, so I'm filling up all my water containers. I've refilled up my water filter inside for my drinking water. I filled up my pot for my dishes, and I filled up my, well, I'm going to fill up my pot for my shower. I'll have a shower today. Yep. My diverter. I'm changing tactics. Little sinker on here. Gonna try for the bottom. Close to the bottom. This is like the deepest spot around. One of the deepest spots around. And it's in the shade. So, you know. Little minnow grabbed at it. You see me? So nothing again. You think with all those minnows in there, if I hadn't caught that one sunfish that one time right here, I'd wonder if there was anything larger than a minnow in there. I'm using worms, man. Anyway, funny story. I had this telescoping fishing rod, which packed up pretty nice and small, and I'd like to take it to the far side of the property where there's a stream where there's fish in there. I couldn't find it, and I talked to City Girl about it recently, and I said, you know, might as well order a new one because I can't find that old one. But I was out on the dock a little earlier, and the eyelets on this were sideways, and I thought, oh, gotta straighten those out, I guess. I'm like, oh shit. I found the telescoping rod. I just didn't know it was telescoping. Telescoping? Oh well, we should have two, right? They're pretty cool. Can you even see me? Oh well. These deer flies, I know they look bad, but I mean, they're not really bothering me. Once in a while one lands on my hand and I kind of slap at it and I miss. Yeah, gonna head back. I think I'm done for today. It's like 3:30ish, 4 o'clock maybe. It's not bad here. There's no mosquitoes. The dogs found a hole in the ground that they wanted to dig at, but I guess they're done. Oh, Junebug, you're so dirty. You've got the dirtiest nose ever. Yeah, look at you. You're so dirty. Oh, the deer flies are bugging you, huh? Alright. We'll get back to the cabin where there are fewer deer flies. So, a good day. Puttering around doing some crap. I was going to go to town. I was going to go to town yesterday. Couldn't dig up the motivation to do it. Now I was going to go today, and I thought, well, I'd kind of like to do some of this other stuff before it starts raining tomorrow. But then I just decided a little earlier that I wouldn't go to town at all this week. I'm just running out of fresh produce. And I thought, you know what? I've got enough ham and cheese. If I make bread, which I'm doing right now, in the bread maker, survival bread. Yes, you know it. I can do sandwiches for lunch. I got enough stuff here. I got like a package of cooked bacon. I've got a package of ham. You know, I got enough stuff to last me. I don't need to go to town. The only thing I'm going to miss, really, is cream. I don't have any cream for my coffee. That's a bummer. That's a real bummer. But I do have backup cream powder, whatever, which isn't nearly as good, but it's not as bad as having coffee black. Anyway, that's probably going to be it for my videoing this day. Maybe I'll do a time lapse as the clouds move in to finish off today, and then we'll bring you back tomorrow. I'll show you the bread, and then hopefully it'll be raining. We'll get some good rain video. Yeah. Cut to that time lapse, Russell. Well, it's Thursday, and we did get some rain. I actually woke up at 3 a.m. I heard it raining, and I knew it had been raining for a bit. So I came down and I moved the diverter on the rain barrel, and it kept raining. It rained for quite a while. And I thought, you know, these barrels are going to be full, but let me show you what we've got here, unfortunately. That's it. Can you see that? It's not very much, and it's full of pollen. I made the mistake this morning of, I first checked this barrel. I leaned off the deck and I lifted the lid up from this side, and all the water that was sitting on top of this lid went flying into that barrel. It was dirty, dirty water. But I am so disappointed. Like, they're saying thunderstorms this afternoon, and can you see me looking around at the sky? Like, come on, man. No thunderstorms. I swear it sounded like it rained for hours. I thought it did. Maybe it did, I don't know. The ground's wet. Anyway. This is off-grid life. And there's no rain in the forecast, but there's some incredibly hot days in the forecast. Here, let me show you in the corner of the screen here. Here, maybe hot days coming up. Solar power battery update. Yeah, so if you're interested in all this technology stuff, I'm going to talk about it for a little bit. Talking to my buddy Ray again, who still does off-grid solar power projects and net metering projects. By the way, apparently there's now a $5,000 grant in Ontario for solar power projects. I don't know anything about it. He mentioned it briefly. Look it up on your own. $5,000 is pretty good, though, if you're thinking about it. Anyway, this is a 10 kilowatt lithium phosphate ion LiFePO4 battery system. 10 kilowatt hours is what this is capable of, and it's been pretty good after I got the problem sorted out with the power tools not running. Now that that's working, it's been pretty good. The only problem I still have with it is when my inverter mysteriously turns off, and I try to turn it on, it won't come on. If it's at night, it won't come on, so I got to jump start it. But that's the only problem I have right now, and otherwise I'm pretty happy. And I haven't had to do that in months. I don't remember last time I had to do it. Well, it was. I did a video recently where I was doing some testing and it wasn't working. Anyway, I was talking to Ray about it. 10 kilowatt hours isn't quite enough for my needs here. I use about 3 to 4 kilowatt hours a day, depending on what I'm doing. Usually depending on what I'm doing with my computer, to be honest. If I sat here and played a game all day, you know, it's higher CPU, it's more fan usage, it's higher power usage, essentially. If I did that, I would be over 4 kilowatt hours. I might be 4.5 kilowatt hours. Not that I do that very often, but I'm just saying, like, it's potentially, I can use a lot more than that. So 10 kilowatt hours, you know, I figure a battery system should last you at least 3 days. And if I'm using 3 or 4 kilowatt hours a day on a 10 kilowatt hour battery bank, I'm not gonna get my 3 days, not quite. And I know that Ray bought 2 of these, exactly the same ones. One came to me, and he still got one in his shop. He was waiting for me to test this one thoroughly. And talking to Ray this morning, I said, you know what? I'll just take that second one. I'll have a 20 kilowatt hour system. Because I'm getting this stuff direct from Ray, and I'm using it personally, I still get things at cost. So why not? And then, since we got talking about this, and he said, sure, absolutely. He just needs some time to be able to bring it here, and he's pretty busy these days. And then I'll have a second one right here. And you can set them up as a master-slave. So master-slave. I have to move this one over a little bit and organize stuff a little bit here. This can't move. This is my power box. This can move. That's my internet. But anyway, then we got talking about other stuff. Like he's buying panels right now. He's buying 340 watt panels, I think. And he said he can get those pretty cheap. So I said, actually it was his idea. He said this to me before. I said, well, why don't we look at putting more panels on the roof? Hold on, let me take you outside and we'll talk about it. So you will see that there's 10 panels on the roof. I'm actually not using the one on the far side, that one sitting off by itself. It's not plugged in. I have 3 strings of 3 panels up there. I can't have one string of 4 panels. It would unbalance it. But Ray, last time Ray was here, or maybe the previous time, I don't remember, he took one look at it and said, well, you can get more panels on there. You can get 3 more, you know, under that one there, and you can get one on the bottom row there. Essentially, we can turn this 9-panel system into a 16-panel system. And he said, while you're at it, why don't you get rid of those panels that are 240 watts and get ones that are 340 watt panels? Because, you know, the incremental cost is not going to be that great. It would essentially turn my system from a 2,160 watt system to a 5,440 watt system, more than doubling the size of it. And it wouldn't be for the summertime. From April to October, I pretty much have all the power I need. It's those other months when we don't have enough daylight hours in the day to keep up with demands. You know, it would tell. I mean, ideally, right now, there's a couple of months where I run the generator almost every day, and it would be nice to get that down to, say, once a week instead of almost every day. But if I put those many panels on the roof, if I went to 2160 to 5440, then I got to do something else. This is talking to Ray on the phone, and he's like, oh, no, okay, if we do that, we got to do this. If we do that, we got to do this. I mean, he's working it all out in his head. But anyway, let me show you what else we have to do. Remember this guy? Got a bucket of dirt here that has been sitting here since like 3 videos ago when I said, hey, I'm going to use this bucket of dirt for something. And I've got my fishing rod sitting here from yesterday. So, charge controller. This is what takes the power from the energy coming from the solar panels and massages it and converts it to the right voltage and amperage for the battery, which is on the other side of this wall. In fact, it's kind of weird because the battery has its own system for doing that. So this kind of really doesn't know what it's doing anymore. But anyway, this 60 amp charge controller, if I'm more than doubling the size of my solar panel array, then I need to double this as well, go from 60 to 120 amps. And Ray says, we just had another one. We just had another one of these. Put it right here. I guess we would have 2 strings of panels go, 2 strings of 8 go into one, and then 2 strings of 8 go into the other. That's my guess. Well, 2 strings of 4 into one, and then 2 strings of 4 into the other. I mean, that would be a better way of describing it. So I need another one of these. These are expensive, but yeah. And that's bless you. We got a great echo here from across the pond. It's wonderful. But it sounds like I sneeze and then like half a second later somebody over there sneezes. Anyway, that's the next that's what I'm thinking for my solar power system. And I told Ray said, like, how soon do you want to do it? And I said, well, Ray, how soon have you got 3 free days you can come and help me? He said, oh, okay. He's a good guy. He's just really busy. He'll help, but trying to find 3 free days from Ray is kind of like I don't know. All right, let's take a look at these clouds. You tell me if it's going to rain later today. It's already after 3. I don't think it's going to rain, but take a look. Well, that's the end of my solar power battery charge controller update plan. Incidentally, Ray's going to be up near Bancroft next week doing off-grid solar power system. I'm thinking of going with him and with my cameras and filming the whole thing. You guys can let me know if you think that's a good idea, or you know what you want to see in an off-grid solar power video. Let me know down there. I'm not pointing at my junk. I'm pointing at the comment section below the video. Yeah. We can make it as detailed as we want, since Ray's pretty much an expert in this stuff. Or we could just kind of run around with a camera. Which would be cool too. Anyway, what else are we doing here, Russell? My bread turned out awesome. It's not in there. It's in the fridge. I cut it up last night with a great big knife. I probably cut it up before I should have, because the bread was a little soft. I should have waited for it to harden up a little bit, but it still turned out fine. I have to figure out how to cut slices evenly. Some are really, really thin, like you can see through them, and some are really thick. Whatever. I've done it better in the past, but yeah, it was just too soft. I was pressing down, the whole loaf was like, whatever, Russell. Anyway, I think that's going to bring an end to this video, since I got to start editing it to get it out the door for tomorrow. Thanks for joining along, and we'll see you next time from Raspberry Rock. Peace out!